mentioned that you have been trying to hit a 15K month. Is this month going to be a 15K month?
Yeah, it's gonna be a 25K month.
Oh my God. Like what was your monthly income before DBA?
3 grand a month.
Prep, and
Yeah,
in the same
yeah.
year now you've reached a 25K month. As soon as you shared your niche and I saw your work and I saw how you were running things, I was like, this girl, all she needs is to change some things and she's gonna go like this. And that's exactly what happened. Welcome to the Unapologetic Designer Podcast, where we chat controversial design topics and expose the raw truth about life as a designer. Welcome back to the podcast. I am here with a recent Design Biz Academy University graduate, and she has a really unique niche. I don't think we've ever had anyone come into the program that is so niche specific and has a very, very cool background that really aligns with her niche. So, Erica, do you want to further introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi. So I'm Erica. My business is Park Ave Prince Design Studio. Man, so much has changed, like especially since I did the course and everything. So I specialize in the health and wellness industry. So I practiced chiropractic for a couple years, and I was kind of doing a side hustle of graphic design. And there's a huge need in the health and wellness field for good branding. And it just is so stuffy and, just sterile and not artsy at all. But like the people, especially the chiropractors in the community that I'm in, like they're really cool people. They're like modern and they want to have like kombucha in their offices, and they have like these crazy build outs where they have these really awesome spaces for healing. And their logos are just like scary, and it like makes no sense. And I'm just like, what is happening? So I loved, like, there was just a need for it. And I was kind of doing both for a while. And I just kind of got pulled into designing logos. I've been doing like art and basic stuff for years and years, but decided to just quit and go full on into logo and brand design. And it started out with just like one-off, logos and stuff. But then it turned into, okay, what's a brand? Like, what are the different elements of a brand and stuff? So it's been a wild ride for sure. But I love the niche that I'm in definitely right now.
And that's such a big like switch from what you were doing. Was there a particular incident that happened that made you realize like, ooh, I could really actually do this as like a full-time thing and not just something on the side?
Yeah. I mean, I was doing art prints for chiropractors for years, and that was becoming a full-time thing in itself. But that was just like creating a design and reprinting it, right? So I'm a creative person, and like hitting print is just like not that cute on a day-to-day basis. So for me, it was like, how do I express this creativity? And that's something that's super fulfilling to me. So yeah, I ended up just taking on a logo client, and oh my God, my first logo was just such trash. And it's so sad because the woman that I did, I think it was like $75 or something.
Yeah.
And the woman that I did it for, she asked for something very basic, like it's fine. But she follows me, and like every now and then I see it and I'm just like,
It makes you cringe. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like,
We all have that. We all have that.
I'm like,
We all have
should I
that
reach
one.
out and can I just redo it? Can I just redo it for free? Like, I just feel bad, but it's like, if they like it, it's fine. But yeah, and like starting off with one thing, like I didn't even know what a vector was. Like I'm completely self-taught. Like I was like making things on my iPad and stuff, and ended up, just figuring out like, okay, what are high resolution files? Like how do I, creating outlines on text and things like that. Like I just kind of had to figure it all out. And I never really had a mentor, or like I didn't know where to go for that. And it's so funny like that y'all's page popped up like, a couple years ago, and I was like, wait, like I need this. Like I need someone to tell me what to do. Cause it was kind of all there on a silver platter for me. Like people were asking me to do these things for them. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I got to figure it out. But yeah, sometimes it's like, you're not ready, and you just got to take the steps and get better and better over time. I've been doing it completely like full time for a little over a year. And yeah, so maybe like a year and a half now.
I will say I thought this was strange. I don't see many people do it. When we first connected and you inquired about DBA and we had our consultation, you had your website only set up as a checkout. So like people would come and then they would check out and buy a package and there was no like consultation process.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about your thought process? Was that because you were used to making prints so much that you were like, okay, this is just like how I'm going to do this? And then I know you were also very hesitant to like change that up. And I see now on your website, it's a consultation, or you still have that option, but like now you have that consultation. Can you talk a little bit more about like maybe some mindset shifts that you started to go through as you started to realize like, oh, I'm doing more than just offering like something that people buy, like there's really a transformation happening.
Totally. I think a big part of that being selective with my clients, right? It's like we've all had a client that you could tell from the jump was just going to either not be a good fit. They were going to be a nightmare. They're giving like red flags in the beginning. You're like, this is just going to be like, it's like you see their emails come in and you're like, oh, like this is just not a good fit. And that's something that you guys preach a lot is, be specific about the type of clients you want to work with. And I was just doing like, click on my website and buy my package. And I think part of that was just trying to like capture the sale when it came in kind of thing. But with that, I was getting a lot of like surprises and things that weren't the best fit, right? And I remember asking you guys about that and just being like, what do you like? Do you really think that, because it is a lot more work, like doing an inquiry, setting up a call, it is requiring more work, but I think I'm getting better fitting clients for me. And I'm able to really set that boundary of like, hey, like, I really like to do feminine creative work. I don't really like to do, like, if I get on the phone, I don't work a ton with men. So it's like when I do get on a call with a man and he's like, yeah, I just want some like protein powder, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not your gal. Like, this is not for me. Like, like I want like a monkey protein powder. I'm like, that's,
goodbye.
Like, am I giving monkey protein powder? I don't think so. And it's fine. And there's a designer for everyone, right? Like, there's some people who are really good at like tattoo art style things and they're really great illustrators and, whatever. So I think that's what's really cool about what you guys preach in the graphic design space is what are you good at? What do you like to do? Because there is a luxury client, a high paying client, and they're willing to pay more for you because they know that you're speaking to them, right? Like, don't be afraid to put on your website, like, I'm here for the woman who wants to stand out in her practice and da 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 da. Because then when they find you, they're going to be like, this is my designer, instead of just like, oh, she does this and then she does this too. And she does like, it's confusing. So I feel like we went down a rabbit hole with that one.
That's okay. No, I love that though. Like that is something we talk about a lot and just even your experience with that and transitioning over, like you've even seen like, okay, now I am getting better fits because you have this vetting process and like that's part of the need to do consultation calls. And I know a lot of designers are hesitant about that, but when you start working with higher ticket clients, like you need that consultation call because you don't want to work with somebody that invests 5K in your services and they're a freaking nightmare because now you like feel like you owe them. But going back to DBA, you said you came across a video. Do you remember what video, like how did you first even notice the Brief Collective?
I'm really not on social media that often, but I think it just like popped up on my feed. And I think it was something about like money mindset. And that's something I've been practicing with for a really long time, but like on my own. And it was kind of like a personal thing of like, okay, these are my money blocks. These are my things of like maybe not feeling innately worthy of, a thriving business or, charging a lot for something that doesn't necessarily cost me much, right? Like I have my computer, that's pretty much one of my biggest expenses for graphic design, right? So it's just this principle of like, you could do it for free, like creativity is free, right? And like that, it just kind of all these like negative mindsets. And so I think looking at a lot of y'all's content was just like, you're good at what you do. Do you like feeling like you're getting ripped off, right? And I just was like, No, I don't. It's just like, I know I hate it. So it just like overall, and I'm like a quiet follower. Like I'm one of those people that like I'll watch your content and it'll take me a while to follow. And then I'll follow. And then I started seeing the content about your course and stuff like that. And I was just like, how organized you were was just like the crazy thing that I needed, because I think creatives are so like their world is just so all over the place. And you guys were like, no, we have like systems and procedures. We have like a set thing. Like when I saw your brand guidelines like outline, I was like, huh? Because I'm crazy. Like I'm just like, this makes so much sense to organize it this way, to using Honeybook and all these different, Asana or Monday, whatever it is, just to organize all your stuff. And I just was like, oh my gosh, like this is what I need. Like I need a mentor to tell me how I can refine all of this stuff. Cause like honestly, like I didn't really need help like getting clients. I wanted to like refine the clients. I wanted to take less clients and charge more. Yes, so that I could like be present with the clients that I had, even during the course. Like I was still finishing out, like I think I had like 10 clients at that time, all at different stages in their projects. And I was just like, wouldn't it be so nice if I just had 3 clients that I was emailing with, and working on their projects? So, but yeah, anyway, back to your question. Yeah, I think it was something about money mindset, which was like definitely spoke to me.
And when you first filled out the consultation, your highest package was like 1,400, right?
Yeah, I was charging $6.99 for a brand suite, like all the logo variations and stuff like that. And then my $1,400 package was like 3 merch designs. It included 2,500 business cards, social media templates, like all of that. Like it included so many things. And then I remember seeing one of y'all's packages and I was like, oh.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. I was like, maybe I'm undercharging. And it's like, no wonder I'm feeling a little burnt out,
What is the highest client you've booked now?
I just booked a $6,000 client. This was like, I don't know. It was just awesome, especially when I had so many like little like $700 for a logo is a lot. Like, in I guess for like a one-off logo or something, like I felt at the time when I was charging that was out of the price range for a lot of people. That was in my perspective, my like that
money
like
mindset.
Yeah, that was like a money
Your
like I was,
mindset,
oh my God, people think they like, they go on Fiverr or 99 designs and they get, 20 logo variation or 20 logo options for $100 or something. So when they say something, they're like 700. I'm like, this is all happening in my head. Like nobody said that to me.
Yeah. It's all in your mind.
Yes, but it's so real, right? Like, and then when I up my prices, I start talking to them, they're like, oh yeah, like I paid $1,500 for my logo for, and once you start to get evidence in your real world, once you kind of up level. Now that I'm just like, no, that's what it's worth, right? Like, especially with one-off logo designs, like for me, the part that takes the longest is the consultation, like creating a mood board and coming up with the ideas for the client. So it doesn't matter if they get one logo or a whole logo suite, to be honest, like that creation process is what you're paying for. Like you're paying for those like divine downloads of like creativity. And like, I can't do that for $100. I just can't.
Yeah, nobody should be.
Right.
It's sad that so many creatives are still actively doing that, or worse, doing it for free. And it should absolutely not be like that. But let's shift the focus to monthly income. I know when you also filled out the consultation, you mentioned that you have been trying to hit a 15K month. Is this month going to be a 15K month?
Yeah, it's going to be a 25K month.
Oh my God.
Which is crazy. That's crazy.
What was your monthly income before DBA?
I mean, especially from a graphic design standpoint, as I have 2, so I do art and then like the graphic design. I mean, graphic design projects, I was probably booking like $1,000 or something like that. Like $3,000
Holy
a month.
crap. And
Yeah.
in the same
Yeah.
year, now you've reached a 25K month. That
Yes.
is wild.
What's funny is on my so I have like a Monday spreadsheet of like each month of like the projects and how much they were paid. And it was just wild. I had like this huge thing and then of all of my different clients. And it was just like so many clients. And then like what that income was that month. And then looking once I like raised my prices, it was like a third of the clients and it was more per month. I mean, obviously that's like basic math, but it was just crazy, like looking at it and seeing like, whoa. And then my mental health too, just being able to have the time to breathe and, really have more creative flow. Cause when you're burnt out, like creativity is the first thing to go, like if you're burnt out, like, I mean, that's why it's so important to prioritize that. But yeah, that has been crazy looking at it. And it's like I have even bigger goals now, especially with web design, adding it in, like the sky's the limit.
And even just talking to you now, I feel like you have so much more life. Like compared to the consultation call, like I mean, as soon as you
And I'm
told
like,
us
I love
like
what I do. Help
yeah.
me.
Yeah, that was the vibe then. So I definitely think you are experiencing some burnout from just working with so many clients. But as soon as you shared like your niche and I saw your work and I saw how you were running things, I was like, this girl, all she needs is to change some things and she's gonna go like this. And that's exactly what happened. Like it was a no-brainer that you needed to join DBA because you already had like this foundation going. You need some stepping stones.
Yes, definitely. I think the cool thing about DBA is you gave us opportunity to rebrand ourselves. And that's such a missed step for designers. It's like, it's kind of like moms. It's like they do everything for everyone and then they don't do anything for themselves. Like I feel like in the graphic design world, it's like you're giving all of your creative juice to everyone around you, and maybe your brand isn't necessarily representing who you are. So I love that aspect of practice what you preach. And that was really hard to do, right? When I have all these paid clients who are
Yeah.
like waiting on me. And it's like, no, my brand is like, I had to work on my own brand. And that was like, I was realizing how much I was like putting off, myself for other people. And you guys like were just so good about accountability and being like, no, like this needs to happen now. And during the time of DBA, like I was just like swamped. But looking back, I'm just like, dude, how was I doing any of this without like the systems and procedures that you guys taught us? And you know, even just seeing you guys post your brand photography, like for some reason, like I always had, like, we're switching a little bit, but I think honestly, a biggest thing was having the confidence to do brand photography. So that's something I had been avoiding for a really long time, of kind of like, who do I think I am to do brand photography? Like, like what am I, like a model now? Like it was like so hard for me. And just like seeing like, you and Marissa, like you guys are such like real people, and seeing you guys like have so much fun with your brand photography and like show off your personality as graphic designers, like I just was like, whoa, like that's so cool. And I ended up just like booking a photographer, and I was so nervous where she came. And like literally once I started posting those photos just as a part of my like brand in my on my page and stuff, the engagement was just crazy, right? Like people want to see you, they want to support you, they want to know who you are. And when we're like hiding behind our computers, like we just can't do that. We just can't connect with people that way. So I think, yeah, just having you guys as a mentor to just kind of like guide the way and be like, no, like you can do these, like you can do hard things, you can do cool things, you can do big girl things.
Your whole presence has shifted, but that's the whole point of DBA, for you to come in and, maybe you're at a certain point, but we want you to revisit everything and really spend that time on your own business. And it really, really does show in your social media presence, your website design. I love your new website. Like I love it. And it just really does. I agree in the fact that it reflects the quality of services you offer now more than it ever has.
Oh my gosh. Like before, my checkout page for like a logo was just the jankiest looking thing. Like it did not look like, and it was wild because like my work was really good, but it was like last minute, people were like, okay, how do I pay you? How do I pay you? And I just like made something quick.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's why it was so cool creating my website during DBA. And that was like, I was staying up until like 1 in the morning every night because I was just so excited to work on it. And it was just like so cool to like, and you guys gave, the foundation, like the pages and stuff, like for me to go in. So it's like I didn't have to worry about that. Like it was really like, okay, how do I want to like guide the reader through my website? And what do I want on each page and that kind of thing. So it was just the perfect amount of guidance, but like plenty of room for like my own creative interpretation of what I want my website and portfolio and things like that to look at and make that unique to me and not like copy anyone. Like I don't want to be anyone else. Like I want to be me, and like I don't want someone else's whole process for doing
Mhm.
anything. And I think that happens a lot in the graphic design
Oh
world, which
yeah.
is why I try not to consume so much content, because like I really want it to like fully come from me. And I think that's why I was so scared maybe to like join a group of graphic designers, like because it can kind of be this competitive space, right? But I experienced the complete opposite. Like honestly, some of the first people to like and comment on my stuff are people like from the DBA class. Like it's
Yeah.
I'm like
They all
I'm
like
just
jumble together and they're like, oh, like so good, like support each other like every time.
I know, because I think it, and sometimes, and even just to support, like I'm in a group chat with some of them, and one girl posted that, she posted her work in a Facebook group or something, and then this woman was just like going off on her about like how awful the design was and how her website sucks and all this stuff. And we were just all there, like, just pumping her up and being like, okay, well, she's not your client anyway, and just so that support, like obviously during DBA is really important, but afterward just realizing like you're not alone. And I realized that a lot of people, like we were all struggling with the same things. We were all struggling with like not thinking we're good enough, not thinking our work is good enough, thinking we charge too much, who are we to, like we were all struggling with the same thing, and not having to like go through that alone is just like amazing.
Just as an example, we had somebody join our new monthly marketing membership, Social Butterfly, the other day. Like it's only been out for like maybe 2 weeks now. Someone joined and literally like within a week after joining, because of the support, because of the positivity, they felt more confident and motivated to show up. And because they showed up, they booked a new client and
That's awesome.
scheduled 2 new discovery calls. And it's like sometimes literally the key is just having that support and like having the positivity and the encouragement in an industry that's like pretty much the opposite most of the time,
Yeah.
especially if you don't have a creative community, like a lot of the people around you don't understand, or they're like speaking negative thoughts into your brain. So I'm really glad that you found that to be, the positive environment we really try to make it. But I also wanted to ask, what percentage of your income comes from your prints, and then what is coming from client work? Because I think that's also a really interesting avenue. A lot of designers want to create some type of, I wouldn't say it's totally passive, but more so passive side of their business. A lot of them lean towards website templates, but you're doing posters. So how is that going?
Yeah. So for a while that the posters was 100% of my income for a long time. And then, like Canva came out, and everyone's kind of making their own stuff and copying my stuff, making their own versions of my things and whatever. And I started noticing like a decline in the poster sales. And that was really uncomfortable for me, obviously, because that was like income I was relying on. But I'm grateful for that because it pushed me to be like, okay, I've always wanted to do brand design and I've always wanted to do web design, but I was just so comfortable with where I was at. It's like, there's no point, And then I started to see like poster sales decline like a lot. And
It was like, oh.
yeah, I was like, okay, that's good. Thank you. Like it had that not happened, it wouldn't have been as real for me. Like I was like, no, like I need to do
Yeah.
something. I need to, and I think that's whatever that is for a lot of people. Like, you just never know. Like income can be unpredictable sometimes. So it was like, how do I create a steady income for something moving forward that like won't change? So that really pushed me into the brand design. So like, this last month probably was like more 60% brand design. If I didn't have that, like that would be a really big problem, right? But I think that's just kind of like what happens in life. Sometimes you gotta, I wouldn't have been pushed to try something new and to build my website and be so like jazzed about it, like had I not been motivated in that way. So
Yeah, it's all about pivoting. Sometimes something works for a while and then you're like, okay, this isn't working anymore. Let me try
Right.
something else. And so where are most of your clients coming from? Is it referrals? Is it social media? Is it a combo?
Yeah. So it's actually coming from Instagram. It's crazy. And I know you talk a lot about like follower count not necessarily reflecting inquiries and stuff. And like I could not agree with that more. Like I've been stuck. I mean, and granted, I have around like 6,000 followers
Mhm.
and I've been stuck at 6,000 followers, which is a lot, like, especially if you're just starting your page. Like I recognize that it's taking me years to even build to that, but I cannot get like I like lose 50 followers a month and gain like 60. Like it is so slow. It's been creeping, but it's like my business is like skyrocketing, right? So you don't need to go viral in order to get the inquiries that you want. Like I just post intentional content. I post, portfolio content. I post like, polls of like, which design do you guys like better? And when I do that, I get an inquiry and then I get booked. So, for people who are like, oh, like I need a certain amount of followers. Like, no, you really don't.
And that's on good branding.
Yeah, right. I know. And I've been pretty like they're pretty much all chiropractors that follow me and they used to follow me for like my prints and my posters and things. And then now me pivoting to like almost exclusively just talking about branding, I was kind of worried about what that would do because it's like, you follow somebody for the expectation of
Mhm.
one thing. And then, I pivoted and I was ready to lose followers for it because not everybody wants a rebrand. Some people they just wanted educational content in relation to the posters. But like with every switch, like you're just gonna get the more authentic you get, you're gonna bring in your people, and then the people that aren't for you are gonna fall out, and that's a good thing.
And I love seeing your like which logo design stories because and maybe that's kind of one of your signature series at this point because every time I see it, I know it's from you. And
Yeah.
I love seeing your work too. Like it's great and it's so unique to the industry that it really stands out. It's like, oh, I've never seen that before in that industry. So I think that also really works to your advantage.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm definitely one of those people that I'm just like, ew, like who cares what I'm about to post? Like I'll be about to post a video. I'm like, nobody cares. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm so mean to myself. And that's why like I love when you guys talk about it because we overthink everything. Like we don't like sometimes you just need to just do it. Just do what you can. Post a snippet. Another thing in DBA that you guys talk about is like just your everyday, like make it easy. You can make it easy. You can take B-roll of you doing whatever it is and you can import it, to whatever you're doing that day or to whatever trending song. And I never really thought about it that way. In my head, it was such a chore, but it really does when you put in the effort to do that. Like that's when you'll get the clients. Like it's free work, right? Like it's you're working and you're not necessarily getting paid for those posts and things. But yeah, like I'll post just like a look at a logo I made this week or whatever. And then I'll get like 3 website inquiries of people that just like want to chat about rebranding or something. So it definitely pays. And you can do a whole business just off of Instagram. I'm telling you. I don't even have TikTok because it scares me, but like
So
not like the app, but just like I'm just
yeah,
like I can't do another social media platform.
yeah, it's a lot. And you don't need to do another one. But out of pure curiosity for my own mind, I need to know how many people are still just doing the straight to cart checkout versus consultation.
I hardly ever have anyone doing a straight to checkout.
Okay, great. That's really confirming for me.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Cause at the time I was like, I mean, if they're just gonna pay me, then why wouldn't I just like what? Cause I would just wanted it to be easier for me, honestly. But yeah, no, everyone is really doing the consultation call now. What I was worried about with that is that I would just get a bunch of people that are going to waste my time and they weren't necessarily ready to book. And I think having just a question on there of like, here's your minimum option, just so that I don't have to have these like surprising numbers conversations with people. I like to be very transparent about money. I don't like icky sales. And I know you guys don't either. So that was something I really liked about you guys, but being very upfront about this is what it is. So that way the conversation can be about what are your designs, like aspirations? Like what style are you looking at? Like, so have the fun conversation as opposed to like, oh, and by the way, it's $2,000. Like, like I
Yeah.
don't want to have that conversation. So that definitely helps like weed out the people that are just not ready or, can't afford it for whatever reason.
Yeah. And that's something we tell literally everybody to do. Like, unless you want to have a bunch of calls for practice, you need the minimum requirement on there because if it's not, people will just waste your time. They'll waste their time. They'll no show. And like, it's just a shit show. And nobody wants that. But
No. Yeah.
all right, now for one of my favorite questions your unapologetic, brutally honest opinion of DBA. Go.
Above and beyond. Like I couldn't, like I was expecting, like I've done different like courses and stuff like that where it's just like, all right, and here's your password, like good luck. And then
Log
they just
in.
dip out. Yeah.
And then you forget about it.
Yes. And I was just kind of expecting, not even half-assed, but I was just expecting, a lot of course teachers, like they do it for the passive income of it, right? And I did not get that energy from you guys at all. Like you were so committed to being there. It was like even you guys sent like a little box to my house. I was just like, and everything was just so thoughtful that was in there. And like you could just tell, like you guys designed all this, like some of the things that were in there. And you had like videos on how to do certain parts of the homework and stuff, like just the effort, it just blew my mind. Like I just was like, oh my gosh, like the bang for your buck, because I'm such a value girly. Like I just was like, thank goodness. So it was definitely like amazing value, just structurally, all the stuff that you got. And then like the website template, are you kidding me? Like that, like if you just sent me that, I would have been like, that was worth it. That was worth it. Like, because like, I don't know if anyone's ever tried to like build out something on Show It. Like it takes a minute. Like it takes a minute. So yeah, just like huge value, amazing community, the organization of it. Like I think you guys don't focus a lot on how to be more creative or like how to like build your skills. Like that's not what it's for. And that's exactly what I needed. Like I didn't need someone to tell me like how to be more like creative and find my style. It was just like I wanted to know how to be more professional because as somebody, I'm self-taught, right? So I didn't have that graphic design background. And even just being a part of this community and realizing like a lot of you guys do have that graphic design background and how many loopholes you still had, right? So I think sometimes, and I think that's obviously why you guys created it, was to show people the business side of it. So yeah, just like the organization of like the client process and showing proofs and just like the contract and oh my gosh, like the list goes on and just like the confidence and the mindset aspect, like there was so much in there, like, and it took a minute and it was all very, like it was like it's a slow process and you really do have to be committed to that. It's not an easy, and you guys are very straight up about that. You're like, this isn't a like,
Get rich quick scheme. No, no, no.
no, it's work. Like I literally had like my own work to do. And then it was like, okay, like how are you going to implement a contract? When are you like, what are your different steps to your website? And you guys break it down for sure. And the accountability is what I really needed. Like I needed someone to be like, hello, where's your homework?
Where's your homework at? We're
like,
waiting.
yeah, like where are you? Like we have it, and because it's easy to just disappear or to feel unimportant or to feel like nobody cares, like if you show up or not, like, which is a little depressing, but it's just kind of like, it was just nice. Like I did feel like I was wanted there. I felt like, the calls, I wasn't just one person. It was very interactive on the calls. I felt comfortable to answer questions. Like I've done a lot of courses and this is 100% like the most transformational in my business. And I'm just starting, like we literally like we're having this call and like DBA, what wasn't that long ago?
Yeah.
Like it was like a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
I literally had a client call this week and he's like, Erica, I've been following you for such a long time. And he's like, and I saw your potential and it just wasn't like translating necessarily. Like it was just kind of like a hodgepodge of everyone. He was like, your rebrand that you did like is so evident and it feels so true to you. And like it looks so professional and like you know what you're doing. And I knew what I was doing all along. I just didn't know how to like make it cohesive, right? So it's like people are noticing it. And now I feel more confident to charge more in my prices because I'm showing up in that way. So oh my gosh, it was just amazing. That's why I'm like, okay, if you guys have another course, like I'm in trouble because I gotta that one too.
Well, thank you so much for coming on here and speaking so highly of DBA and just sharing your transformation and your experience. And I mean, I'm not shocked at all that you're hitting a 25K month because I knew, like, as soon as we had that initial consultation call, that you were gonna easily grow exponentially after DBA. And I'm so glad that you did take that leap and join us. Where can people connect with you online?
I'm Park Ave Prints on Instagram. So yeah, I would love to connect with more like graphic designers, like anyone who just want to come hang and be a part of the gang. That would be amazing.
If you want to hear more designer success stories, go ahead and subscribe to the Unapologetic Designer podcast. If you want to join our design community at the Brief Collective or enroll in Design Biz Academy, information on how to do that can be found in the description.